so tired of dreaming of you, so tired of dreaming of you, so tired of dreaming of you, so tired of dreaming.
You can look at Sleeping Beauty, for example. Sleeping Beauty is rescued by a prince. And you can think of that prince at two levels of analysis simultaneously. You can think about it as an actual male who plays that role, but you can also think about it as the exploratory, assertive, and courageous part of the feminine psyche that's necessary to bring unconsciousness up into consciousness.
The male personification of the unconscious in woman, the Animus, exhibits both good and bad aspects, as does the anima in man. But the Animus does not so often appear in the form of an erotic fantasy or mood. It is more apt to take the form of a hidden, sacred conviction. When such a conviction is preached with a loud, insistent masculine voice, or imposed on others by means of brutal emotional scenes, the underlying masculinity in a woman is easily recognized.
You're saying you've done your research and women are unhappy dominating men.
I didn't say they were unhappy dominating men.
You're just saying that's the way it is.
Well, I'm not saying
But you're
anything.
saying basically it doesn't matter if women aren't getting to the top. You're saying, well, that's just a fact of
No, I'm
life.
saying
Women
it
aren't
doesn't
necessarily
matter.
going to get to the top.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter either.
You're saying that we should organise our societies along the lines of the lobsters.
The lobster.
Millions of people died fighting the lobster. Tell us about the lobster.
However, even in a woman who is outwardly very feminine, the Animus can be an equally hard, inexorable power. One may suddenly find oneself up against something in a woman that is obstinate, cold, and completely inaccessible.
I don't know what you mean by the question.
You're saying the lobsters have to sort of become men to succeed, but you're saying that makes them unhappy.
One can rarely contradict an animus opinion because it is usually right in a general way, yet it seldom seems to fit the individual situation. It is apt to be an opinion that seems reasonable, but beside the point. The father endows his daughter's animus with the special coloring of unarguable, incontestably true convictions, convictions that never include the personal reality of the woman herself, as she actually is. This is why the Animus is sometimes, like the anima, a demon of death, a demon of death, a demon of death, a demon of death, a demon of death. The Animus never believes in exceptions. He personifies a cocoon of dreamy thoughts, filled with desire and judgments about how things ought to be, which cut a woman off from the reality of life. In the depths of the woman's being, the Animus whispers, "You are hopeless. What's the use of trying? There is no point in doing anything. Life will never change for the better." Unfortunately, whenever one of these personifications of the unconscious takes possession of our mind, it seems as if we ourselves are having such thoughts and feelings. One is really possessed by the figure from the unconscious. Only after the possession has fallen away does one realize with horror that one has said and done things diametrically opposed to one's real thoughts and feelings, that one has been the prey of an alien psychic factor. A vast number of myths and fairy tales tell of a prince turned by witchcraft into a wild animal or monster who is redeemed by the love of a girl, a process symbolizing the manner in which the animus becomes conscious. Very often, the heroine is not allowed to ask questions about her mysterious, unknown lover and husband, or she meets him only in the dark and may never look at him. The implication is that by blindly trusting and loving him, she will be able to redeem her bridegroom. But this never succeeds. She always breaks her promise, and finally finds her lover again only after a long, difficult quest and much suffering. The parallel in life is that the conscious attention a woman has to give to her animus problem takes much time and involves a lot of suffering. But if she realizes who and what her animus is and what he does to her, and if she faces these realities, instead of allowing herself to be possessed, her animus can turn into an invaluable inner companion who endows her with the masculine qualities of initiative, courage, objectivity, and spiritual wisdom. Like the anima, the animus does not merely consist of negative qualities such as brutality, recklessness, empty talk, and silent, obstinate, evil ideas. He too has a very positive and valuable side. He too can build a bridge to the self through his creative activity.